Welcome to this bonus audio. Travel along with me, Michelle Skaletski-Boyd, as you learn to discover the inner depths of your soul. As you listen to each acoustical creation, you'll hear different words to describe the Creator, the Almighty, God, Source, the universe. References from Buddha to the Bible will be explored. Choose what works best for you and enjoy the experience along the way. Namaste. This space has been created to allow everyone present to fully expand into their truth. By joining today, I truly believe it means you're ready to step fully into who you really are. Source has guided me to create this space so that it serves your highest good. Your being on this call tells me you've somehow created this experience for yourself with the sole purpose of receiving a message of synchronicity that may act like a milepost on your journey. So consider it a wonderful lifeline to keep you anchored and present so you can fully connect to who you are with confidence and certainty starting right now in this very moment. Designed to awaken, reset, and realign. And before we get started, there are some important things to do because taking action is important if you wish to fully connect to who you are. So first, please, please, please do yourself a favor and move yourself to a place of joy. If it's sunshiny, go near a window. This is some me time. Find a place where there are no distractions, just you and your higher self, with me acting as the conduit to help you fully connect. And then if you can, please grab a paper and a pencil or a pen. And I'm going to ask you to also be near or have near you a mirror. Yes, a hand mirror or a wall mirror or something of the type, because you're going to look deep within yourself today to begin to joyfully see yourself and to like what you see. So before we fully get started, let's take a moment to gather all those things, to gather ourself. As I tell you, the primary purpose of this series is to help you gain more faith and confidence in your every step. And though we can sometimes feel all alone, we never are. You just need to remember to ask. So with that being said, let's take a moment and call in your higher power, your guardians and your guides who are here to assist you in love and in light. Excellent. And since some of you have asked for confirmation on how to ask and how to meditate, let me help first by validating that if you're focusing on your breathing, if you're feeling good, and if you've asked for your higher self, guides, and your guardians to come from a place of love and light, then you're connected. It's as simple as that. This is how you ask. And so as you close your eyes and you focus on your breathing, pay particular attention to your breath. Notice this is the breath that happens automatically, the breath that gives you life, the breath that you entrust your higher self to manage so you can be safe and you can be well. You see, we all been gifted with certain amounts of higher self-trust, breathing, blinking, digesting, the beating of our heart. So I want you just to think about this for a moment and understand this from your core, because you have created this today. And our journey together will take you through many doors, doors of higher self-trust and doors of self-worth and doors of self-confidence, learning to accept who you are. It all begins from within, and you're here today to tap back into this so you can fully awaken, reset, and realign. So everybody take a big inhale and exhale completely. Very good. And so what is self-trust when it comes to the higher self? So let's open the door to self-trust and see what it brings. Let's see that self-trust is to believe and to have confidence in your higher self. You see, confidence is assurance. It's to be sure-footed. It's to be completely sure of yourself. Trust can also mean a person on whom or thing on which we rely, such as God is my trust. Ralph Waldo Emerson, one of my favorites, says, self-trust is the first secret of success. He also said, trust thyself. Every heart vibrates to that string. Proverbs 3:5 tells us, trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. Well, this was confusing for me, and so I leaned on Source and I said, God, what does this mean? Help me get this. Help me feel this. How can I trust in you and not lean on my own understanding? I don't get it. And so I went within, because we all must ask. So I'm encouraging you to do the same. And what I was told was, do not lean. Do not rely on your brain's understanding, your brain's perceptions. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. The Lord is your God. Your God is your spirit. Your spirit is your true self. Trust your higher self by allowing your physical self to be led by the spirit, by finding your answers, by tapping into your own inner knowing, your own inner truth, that which won't, and listen here, that won't give you proof on the outside, but will give you complete knowingness from within. It made so much sense when I heard it, and I hope that it makes sense to you. Self-trust comes from the spirit. It takes place from within. It's knowing that accountability and responsibility comes from walking in your truth and recognizing that everything you do, everything you say, everything you think and you feel and you act upon, be it internally or externally, is energy. And it all, yes, all, affects and leaves a mark on the universal grid. This is why being aware and being awake and being conscious is so important. It's why your inner dialogue, your personal self-talk, the energy that you put out to the world determines what you find on your path. And understand this, positive thinking will backfire if your emotions and your beliefs aren't aligned. I'll say that again. Positive thinking will backfire if your emotions and your beliefs aren't aligned. In other words, if you're aware, you will continue to create more of the same feelings of stress and of being overwhelmed and feeling resistance and lack and distrust and anger and all of those things. Because old neuron pathways in your brain that no longer serve you anymore have been conditioned to go that way. And so what do you do if you're stuck? What do you do if you keep repeating past patterns, or you're feeling hopeless, or you're questioning your own inner truth, which causes you to lose your footing? It causes you to be imbalanced. It's important that you find your pivotal point. Now, some call this the fulcrum. It's the little moment when you become aware. And at first it's going to seem as though you're standing outside yourself and you're watching the switch that happens when you go from feeling content, for example, to being triggered. When you once felt empowered and then you gave your power away and then you find yourself turning into a victim mentality. When you move from feeling balanced and feeling good to feeling imbalanced and then in question and then in doubt and then in worry and then in fear and what if, and then you're out of control and no longer feeling appreciated or no longer feeling recognized or no longer being perfect. And when you begin to feel the disconnect from your higher self, when you feel lost or empty or incomplete, notice your ego has taken over the wheel. And let me tell you, it's going to happen at first really fast, too fast to even know where the pivotal point is, too fast to really even catch it, in fact. And this may happen for quite some time, but you ask, you ask, you ask. You look at it after the fact and you ask for help. And soon you'll be catching yourself sooner and finding the tools you need to align your beliefs with your emotions, and then fully staying in connection with yourself. Please, I'm here to tell you, whatever you do, don't give up. This is like building spiritual muscle. It's going to take some time, so persevere. In other words, keep on keeping on. A personal story is I dwelled in anger for years. I flew off the handle, and still to this day I get triggered sometimes, and I say something, and then, whoa, it went so fast that I missed the pivotal point. And so I go back and I ask, what can I do differently next time around? But let me tell you, things have gotten so much better, and I feel so much freer, so much purer. The toxicity has cleared out. I'm expanding, and I'm trusting, and it feels so good. So if you would, please go to your mirror now. Come on. Look in the mirror. I'll wait. Take a moment and look in the mirror. Look deeply at yourself in the mirror. I know it may seem silly, but please ask yourself, do you like what you see? Some of you are hesitating. I can feel it, but please look, because now is the time to fully awaken, reset, and realign, and this is part of the journey. As you look, are you finding yourself being critical rather than kind? Do you find yourself afraid to look, embarrassed to see? Now is the time to be aware. This is your pivotal point. It's time to ask for help in transformation, because self-trust begins with allowance and acceptance of who you are right now in this very moment, and now, and now, and now. It's time to forgive yourself and start again. So, if you have a high bar of yourself, let it go. If somebody set a high bar for you, let it go. Get past your need to please. Get beyond the old patterns that no longer serve you. Act out of passion and not out of fear. Now, please hear me say this. Act out of passion and not out of fear. There is a big difference. Fear will cause resistance. It's going to give you a sick feeling of dread inside. So think now about walking in your truth. Think now about being who you are. Think now about going out and shouting it from the rooftops, and ask yourself, does one particular person or persons come to mind who causes you dread because you fear he or she won't approve? Notice what it feels like now to move past this person or persons in your life. Notice how much freer you feel, how the passion of being who you are brings on such an excitement and such an internal knowingness. Yet you say, what do I do when I feel this resistance? When someone else's opinion seems to matter more? When I'm too afraid to be who I am because I fear I'll be judged or I'll be criticized? Hear me, please hear me. Whether it's your mother, your father, your grandma, your grandpa, your spouse, your chaplain, your priest, your siblings, your best friend, if it causes you to question your higher self, if this person is placing shadows of doubt on your own love and your own light, then I want you to see them differently, right here, right now. See them for who they are now, a stop sign on your path, to cause you to halt or to pause for just a moment. And just like a stop sign, show them respect. Respect is derived from the Latin word that means to look. The prefix RE means again. So respect means to look again. These people are in your life to help you relook at yourself again. Know that they're in your life as a gift. Not to throw you off your path, but to help you remain true to it. They're in your life not to throw you off your path, but to help you remain true to it. And though they may have a really funny way of showing it, I know my relatives do, they're in your life to teach you to always remember who you are. Give yourself permission right now to understand and accept that you will never, ever, ever please everyone, and that's okay. I want to say that again. You will never, ever, ever please everyone, and that's okay. It's okay not to be accepted sometimes. Opposition is required in order to grow. Do you get that? Opposition is required in order to grow. Loved ones on your path are there to help you evaluate and hold true to your purpose. Think about it. If no one in your life ever came about who was difficult, whoever challenged you, whoever questioned you, how strong would you be today? How strong? How much growth would you have achieved? Would you have expanded at all? Allow those around you to help you grow. Don't be stifled by them. Don't allow them to hold you back from who you are. When they appear, see them as a stop sign. Pause for just a moment. If you resist them, if you fear them, it would be no different than coming to a stop sign and pretending you're seeing a police officer and feeling as though you're inebriated. You're not. You're awake now. Persist. You have nothing to fear. They're here to help you gain confidence. So send them respect, a relook at yourself. Send them love and light. So you might ask, well, what if an unkind person comes into my view? Well, that happens. When an unkind person comes into your view, take a moment and thank the universe. The universe is showing you a clear indication that you now need to reposition yourself somehow in some way. And that's all it is. It's nothing more. An unkind person is a detour or maybe a yield sign asking you to pause for just a moment. Now you have a choice. You can get mad and you can match the unkind person's energy, or you can read this as a sign, as someone who just doesn't like you for whatever reason, and be okay with that. Now let's say that instead of being okay with that, you look at this person who doesn't like you and you try to please. What happens? You're giving your power away. What happens if you look at this person and you're mad that they don't like you? You go into a place of anger and a place of lack and a place of need because you want to be liked. You get this? You're needy now. I want to be liked. Why can't this person like me? And while you're doing that, you're forgetting again that that's not who you are and that this has nothing to do with you. That is your ego. And so you remind your ego of this. This unkind person came into your life to hold you in confidence once again so that you can step and hold your truth. This is about two spirits coming together and nothing more. It may be a sign that it's time for you to ask for more protection if you're finding that you continue to draw in unkind people into your life. Perhaps it's time to ask for more protection. Maybe it's to show you how much you've changed so that you remember not to be like that again. I recently had an encounter with a very unkind person. This person was short, and curt and rude. When we met, if I could take the words that were used, it felt like a piercing dagger in my heart. And it left me breathless. And I walked away wondering, what was that about? And I sat there for a moment, totally feeling so shocked. I didn't quite even know what to do. And I thought, send love, send light. Perhaps I came across, and I start blaming myself. Perhaps it was me. Perhaps I was the one who did it. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I'll reach out again. I'll give them a second chance. And I reached out again, and I got my hand bit off. This person basically told me where to go and what to do, and that they never even wanted to talk to me ever again because our vibrations were so different. And I had to send them love and wish them well and be okay with who they are, because for a moment I wasn't okay with who I was. Do you get this? It's so important that you hold your own, that you stand in who you are, and that if you are thrown off in any way, you remind yourself that these people are coming into your life for a reason. In the case that I just showed you, this person was there to remind me how much I had changed. I used to be mean. I used to be short. I used to be unkind. I used to live in such anger, and I didn't care what anybody thought of me. I used to embarrass the people I was with because of the way I acted, and I really didn't give a darn. And so when I saw this behavior, I was so appreciative of the fact that that's not me anymore. So wish them well and send them love. Whether it's a stranger or close family and friends, respect, relook, respect their point of view. That doesn't mean take it on. Know that if this person or persons in your life really love you, they will love you regardless of your differences. Understand this. Love is absolute. Love has no conditions. There should not be I will love you more if you do this, or if you don't do that, or if you act a certain way. If someone in your life is putting conditions on you, avoid them, just as you would avoid a stop sign when you want to get going on your path. Avoid them. So inhale deeply, please, and exhale completely. So now you ask, where does self-worth come into play? So let's move through that door. Self-worth is the value, and value means importance, that one assigns to oneself or one's abilities in self-assessment. It's how we grade ourselves, how we look at ourselves. And it's how you see yourself when you compare yourself to someone else, which is really quite amusing to me in some ways, because on a spiritual level, we're all the same. And so there's no comparison. You see, it's on this earthly plane that we get stuck in our egoic beliefs, and that keeps us feeling as though we don't deserve something, because that's what self-worth is about, deserving. And so sometimes we feel as though we don't deserve to be treated kindly. We're not good enough. We're not deserving enough. We don't stack up. We don't measure. We haven't earned it. Whether it's being treated kindly by your partner or your family or your friends, feeling deserving of treating yourself to something that you have really desired, making time for yourself. And some of you right now aren't making time for yourself. I can feel it. You're multitasking. And that's ego again, because you deserve right now to make time for yourself right now. Deserving comes in all shapes, forms, sizes. Sometimes people don't feel they deserve to be fit. They deserve to be attractive. They deserve to be thin because they see their layers of heaviness and fat as elusively acting as a protector of some sort. And so they can't deserve to put themselves out there and take the risk of possibly being noticed. Some people feel as though they can't allow themselves to have a great deal of abundance because for whatever reason it causes them to feel guilty or unworthy. But you see, the truth of the matter is we are all love and light. I want you to imagine the world as a big, huge puzzle, a fun puzzle. The world is a big puzzle. Make it 3D if you wish. And just like a puzzle, we each are a piece of the puzzle. So you are the piece of the puzzle, and I'm a piece of the puzzle, and everyone you know is a piece of the puzzle. And for that very reason, we are all the same, yet we're also so unique. You see, most of us have been conditioned to look at our negative traits. Isn't this true? We've been conditioned to pick out the flaws. What's wrong with this picture? To look at the situation of others, to compare ourselves to them, to look at shortcomings, to feel sorry for other people. This is how we've been conditioned, to look at the news and to see all of the bad. It's time to start looking at what's right with things. So please write this down. Take your paper, your pen or your pencil, and write this down. God doesn't create junk. God doesn't create junk. You are worth more than the physical eye can ever see. Worth is not about anything outside of you. And please hear me when I say this. Feel it deep within. Worth is not about anything outside of you. Worth is what you bring from within. God doesn't create junk. You are worthy in every way, and don't let anyone, I don't care who it is, anyone make you feel differently. Because when you do, you give up your power. You give your power away, and you will lose your balance. You will lose your connection to Source. And today is the time to fully see who you are, to fully connect, to fully reset, to fully realign. Inhale deeply, please. And exhale completely. Clergyman Doug Horton once said, "No one can drive us crazy unless we give them the keys." No one can drive us crazy unless we give them the keys. So who is driving you? Let me ask you this. Do you ever dream sometimes, remember your dream, and you're a passenger instead of the driver? Do you ever sometimes dream that you have no brakes? Or that you're all over the road? You see, it's time to take the wheel, because in a dream, when you're in a vehicle, the vehicle is you. It is your body. It is who you are. It's time for you to take the wheel. It's time for you to have self-control again. Norman Vincent Peale said, "Think positively about yourself. Ask God who made you to keep on remaking you." Notice he said ask, 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 ask for help right here, right now. If you haven't done it, ask. Remember who you are. God doesn't create junk. You are an indispensable part of all creation. You are precious and you are pure. Look in the mirror now. Really look in the mirror and repeat this after me. I love myself. Say it again with conviction. I love myself. Now say, thank you for being you. I love you. I appreciate you. I forgive you. I wholly and completely accept who I am. I am worthy. I am worthy. I am worthy. I am worthy. And if you notice any feelings of resistance, any, oh, this seems silly, any, oh, this doesn't feel right, understand you're giving your power away. Understand when you look at yourself, you should be saying nothing other than love and light. To see anything different, you're forgetting that God doesn't create junk. To see anything different, it robs you of who you are. So write this down. To build yourself up, you must create your own foundation. To build yourself up, you must create your own foundation. The foundation can't be someone else's. When you build yourself from the opinions or the ideas or, the approval of other people, you are going to crumble and you will fall eventually because it is not a sturdy self-foundation. And I know this from personal experience. To thine own self be true. When you care so much about others' opinions of yourself, or when you go in the opposite direction and not give a darn about anyone's opinions, including your own, because you're so stuck in worry or shame or anger or bitterness or resentment, and the list can go on and on. You build your foundation upon your ego, not upon your higher self. And just like a house of cards, life will fall down. Life will have no substance, it will feel empty, it will feel superficial, and you will feel incomplete. And that's sabotage. That's self-sabotage. Self-sabotage is the actions that you take either consciously or unconsciously that causes harm to you, whether it's deliberate or not, in any way that's causing you to be someone you are not. When you came here, when you chose to come here, when you came down here, and for some people they believe I didn't have a choice, and that's okay. But when you came here with a purpose, you came here with a mission, and you came here with an intention. And it's time that you intend yourself to be who you are. See, when you use other people or circumstances as your scapegoat, if you find yourself blaming, if you find yourself making excuses for your own behaviors, if you often are defensive, you're sabotaging your own truth. Because sabotage, according to the dictionary, is any underhand interference with production, work, etc. It's also defined as deliberate subversion. It holds you back from fully embracing and connecting to your higher self. You see, reasons and excuses are a dime a dozen, right? I mean, we have them. So think about how you feel when you think about stepping into your own truth. Think about those people that come to mind, and immediately reasons and excuses unfold. My religion says I can't. My family will disapprove. My friends will think I'm weird. I don't want to be considered one of those woo-woos. I don't have any proof. I'll upset my elders. I'm afraid to say no. I fear I'll be disowned. I just don't like confrontation. I don't want to appear imperfect in their eyes. etc., etc., etc. No matter what it is, it all comes down to this. And please write this down because it's a gem. It's a gem just like you. You're a gem, so please write this down. It's only when you're withholding your value that you feel unworthy. It's only when you're withholding your value that you feel unworthy. When you withhold your value from the world, when you withhold your spiritual gifts, when you pretend to be someone you are not, this is when you feel unworthy. And there will be sign after sign after sign that will continue to appear. And let me tell you, when you first step into your truth, a lot of those stop signs are going to come into your life to make you absolutely certain that that's the direction you want to go. Oh, halt, are you sure? Oh, halt, you really want to be who you are? Are you really certain? You're going to have all these people showing up in your life, questioning you and asking you, and that's the way the universe works. So inhale deeply, please, and exhale completely. True story, when I first put myself out there, people in my life, people that I felt so close to, began projecting my biggest fears, one after the other, so loudly and so clearly. It spun me right around. It made me cry. It made me question my own truth. It made me mad. It made me say, God, why are you doing this to me? I'm listening to you. I'm finally going within, and why are you creating this in my life? And then I realized they were stop signs, one after the other, some with big, huge, flashing, warning red lights, almost making me feel as though what I was doing was going to be putting myself at such risk that I was going to be considered awful, that people were going to maybe hunt me down. Yet when I finally had enough courage to move back into the flow of life, the flow of who I am, the flow of traffic, when I stepped back into my own truth again, life no longer felt like such a lie. Are you living a lie? For so long I lived a lie. I put on one mask after another, after another, after another. I put on a mask for my siblings and a mask for my parents and a mask for my employer. I didn't even know who I was anymore. I had been dwelling in a space that was not my own. I was trying to please so many people around me. And when you try to please those around you, you completely displease yourself, which is why you go into depression. If this is you, here's what you do. You just be. You give yourself right now permission. You look in the mirror and you say, I like me, and I'm going to be who I am. And you be friends with yourself. You make friends with yourself first. And when you make friends with yourself first, your real friends, your true friends, your soul group friends will emerge. I promise you that. Never in my life have I had such genuine friends. You treat yourself. You reward yourself. You be kind to yourself. You admire yourself. And no, I can hear some of you saying, well, that's arrogant. No, it's not. When it comes from a place of love and light, it's not conceit at all. I want you to write this down. Compliments. When you give yourself a compliment, it's a compliment to your maker. When you give yourself a compliment, it's a compliment to your maker. It's not conceit at all. See, love yourself is a compliment. It's not conceit. So inhale again deeply, please. And exhale completely. We're going to do a little visualization exercise. So if you would get comfortable and close your eyes. And I want you to focus your attention on your nose, the tip of your nose. I want you to imagine your nose growing outward. It's expanding outward more and more. Give it a color, a shape, a size. Perhaps it may feel like silly putty. Perhaps a really long twig or limb for which growth and birds can fit. Whatever it is, just focus on your nose and imagine your nose growing outward. And notice how easy it is to allow your mind to have fun. See, this is your spirit at play. Understand this. You are a multidimensional being, okay? You already know this. You wouldn't be on this call if you didn't already get that. And being multidimensional is how you tap into your source. It's how you extend your sensory perceptions. It's how you use your spiritual gifts. And it's because you're spirit having a physical experience that you're able to shift your awareness from your higher self to your physical self and back and forth and sometimes all at once. And it was how you were able to go into your imagination just now and extend and expand your nose. This is how you connect with your God and your angels and your guardians and your guides. And it's how you find your pivotal point. You expand yourself outward and you look within. And sometimes you feel beside yourself even. Man, I'm beside myself. Well, there's a reason for that. One part of you is going in one direction, the other part of you is going in the other. You feel divided. Yet the important thing is you catch yourself at your pivotal point and you choose then to cut out any thoughts and emotions or stop signs in your life that no longer serve you well. You see, I have appeared on your path right now because we're in transformation. We're in expansion. Author Richard Bach once said, "What the caterpillar calls the end of the world, the master calls a butterfly." You see, if you feel like you no longer fit in with your family and your friends, at first it may feel like the end of the world. But if you're really awakened fully, you understand it's because you were once a caterpillar and now you're transforming. I'm here to tell you it's time to be a butterfly. And it's okay if you're still in pupa stage. You may be spinning and you may be afraid and you're not sure what's going on and it seems all dark and strange. Rest assured, I'm here to tell you all is well. You're going to be all right. Perhaps you're still unfurling your wings. Maybe you're still a little too scared. Or maybe you're learning to fly, and so you go out a little bit and you come back. Wherever you are, it's okay. And look in the mirror and say that to myself. Where I am now is okay. Where I am now is okay. I like myself. I accept where I am right now. See, my friend Kita says we're all like growing children. She said everyone's at different stages in their spiritual growth. Some are mean and rebellious and erupting because of all the new hormonal energy changes that are taking place around them. Others are awakening and hoping they can go back to who they once were by pretending that they're not old enough to know any better, to know who they really are. Yet, truthfully, we can't go back, can we? So how do you raise everyone around you to the same stage as you? How do you make those caterpillars into butterflies? It's not possible. It's not possible. Just as it's not possible to awaken and then go back. You can't go back to pupa stage if you're already the butterfly. It's okay that you're fearful. It's okay that you may not be ready to fly. It's okay that you want to take your time, that you're not quite there. You're not quite ready to go even further yet. Sometimes you need more time for your wings to fully unfold. Don't be impatient. It doesn't have to be all at once. Allow yourself to take the time you need. See, that's where nurturing comes in. That's where being good to yourself comes in. That's where allowance and acceptance comes in. That's where trust comes in. You adjust in these wondrous times. And let me tell you, the ride is really, really fun when you're in flow. It's beautiful. And when you're in flow, if there's ever a time you get fearful because you're afraid the floodgates have opened with unmanageable current causing you to want to jump out of the stream, or perhaps you're not in flow and you're standing on the shore wondering, will the waves come? Will they come? Please come. Notice your fears. Acknowledge your fears. Move through your fears. And you say, how? How do I do it? Tell me. You ask for help. Know that you have guides on your side. They're helping you. That's why they're there. They're helping you find your way. They're helping you control your flow. They're helping you manage your current. If you go in the opposite direction of where you need to be, you just go back to the basics again. It all comes down to basics. You reset your internal compass. You go within, you use muscle testing, also called kinesiology, and you find your yes and you find your no. And you ask yourself simple questions, such as, I am female, I am male, and notice your body's response. You practice by using names. For me, I would say, I am Michelle Skaletski-Boyd. And this way allows me to hear or feel or sense or know my yes. If I say I am Rumpelstiltskin, my body's going to quickly show me my no. So you listen and you feel and you sense and you see and you learn and you practice your yeses and your nos, because just like a puzzle piece, you are unique and your yeses and your nos will be unique to you. You see, your maker knows how you learn best. And so you practice and you practice and you persevere. So whenever you're questioning if you're in flow, if you're in truth, I want you to deliberately go into the opposite direction for just a moment and ask a question that you know is a no. That's going to reset you. And then you turn back to truth and you trust in your yes. And now you're reset again. And now you're fully reset and fully aligned. And you ask first a question that you already know with certainty. And then you wade out even further from the shore and you trust in the flow. Just as you trust that when you put your hand into the ocean, you no longer see your fingers, yet you know your hand's still there. Know your inner truth. This is the same thing. It's because you know, because you know, because you know. You may not see your hand, but you know it's there. It's the same thing. Stand firmly in your truth. Feel confident in your every step. And know you are worthy. You are love. God doesn't create junk. Know from this point forward you have gained more trust in yourself because you have taken the time that you need to reset and realign to fully connect to who you are today. And as we wrap up, I want you to write this down. Stop taking yourself so seriously. And I want you to put the emphasis on so. Stop taking yourself so seriously. The dictionary defines serious as of showing or characterized by deep thought. Now this is good. Deep thought is good. It means you're being sincere and you have good intention. It means you're going within. And it's especially important when it comes to self-trust and self-worth and self-assurance. However, where things go off kilter is when you take yourself so seriously that your disposition changes. Your energy, your vibe becomes somber and grave and critical and weighty. This is when you're taking yourself too seriously, caring too much about pleasing other people, caring too much about controlling the outcome, caring too much about getting things right, about being appreciated for your efforts and recognized for your hard work. So stop taking yourself so seriously. So go forth and take your purpose seriously enough that you can laugh along the way. You can find joy on your path. Please hear me when I tell you, you're already perfect just as you are. Right now in this moment, you're already appreciated for all you do. You're already fully accepted. You're already in control because you're trusting yourself, just like you trust yourself with your breathing and your heartbeat. Your higher self is right there. It has the wheel. It has your back. Trust. Know. Be assured. Have confidence. Put yourself out there a little more. Remain sure-footed. Have a ton of fun. As your spirit enjoys the experience every day, that's why you're here. Are you not? To enjoy the experience? So I want you to take just a moment and send gratitude to yourself. Just allow it to fill you, your whole body, with gratitude, appreciation, acceptance, love. Oh, I can feel it. It feels so good. I'm connected with all of you. We are one, and I can feel it, and it's so wonderful. Thank you. Let's take a moment to send now that appreciation to our higher power, our angels, our guardians, and our guides who are here to assist us. We just need to remember to ask. Truly, a soulfelt thanks to you all so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. You are great.
Thank you.
Love you.
Good job.
Thank you. I love you all. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.
Namaste.